Hi, good evening. Dave Kaiser here with Dave Jones Realty, and I'm here tonight introducing Jan Trush, Baltrush. She's the founder of Find Your Stuff. She's an organizer, and she's in professional organizations, being an organizer, and she has some great stuff to share with us tonight. Jan, I met you was it 4 years now, maybe?
Yeah.
In the Waterbury Chamber of Commerce. We were doing that was a fun time, the Wake Up Your Business.
Right. Those are great meetings.
Yeah, they were great meetings. But I learned about your business, and I actually did call upon you to come and speak to some residents in an apartment complex that are in small units and need help organizing things. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your business and what you do and how you help people?
Okay. So I started my business back in 2009. Had a full-time job and didn't like my boss. So I decided to go to a mid-career retirement seminar to find out, was I in the right spot? Can I get out? Because he was going where I was going. And on the way home, I realized I can retire like in my late 50s. And I'm like, I can do a whole other career. Like this would be great. So on my way home from Boston, I was trying to think of what do I want to do? What would I love to do for my second career? And at that time, like HGTV had Mission Organization on, and Clean Sweep was on. And I used to love those shows. And at the end, it would say professional organizer in the credits. And I'm like, I wonder what that is, because I would love to do that. I looked it up, and there's actually a national association, and then there's a Connecticut chapter. And I went to the meeting. I'm like, this is what I want to do. And what someone at the chamber said, your nickname should be you're the clutter consultant, because you go out and I help people get rid of their clutter, get rid of that stuff that they just don't need anymore, but they don't know what to do with it, or they feel bad getting rid of it because, it's grandma's tea set or whatever.
Yeah,
so I can help people, make that decision. Like, you're really not going to use it. You're not honoring it in any way. You're not using it in a different way. Let's donate it and give it to somebody else, or let's try and sell it. But I try and help people get rid of the stuff that they really don't want anymore. And my motto is anything you do keep, everything has a home. So whether it's a fork or a phone or a pair of scissors or whatever, your bills, they all have their own place to live. Like they always have a spot where anybody in the family can find it, and anybody in the family can put it away even, which is even better. And so I just help people set up those systems for them, because they're the ones that are going to need to find their stuff after I leave. So it doesn't make a difference where I would want to put the scissors, but if that person's not going to look for them in that drawer, then there's no reason to put it there. So I make sure I put it where they are going to look for it. That's my question all the time is, where would you go to look for this? And then that's where I try and put their stuff there. So, my clients range from young families to young professionals, to the widowers that have combined households, to divorcees that have combined households. And that's usually hard because, you got two houses coming into one and it's always smaller. So you're trying to figure out whose furniture we can keep and whose things we can keep. And then people are downsizing, they don't need that 4-bedroom house anymore. The kids are gone and they need to get rid of the stuff because they're going down to a 2-bedroom house. Mm-hmm. So I help them get rid of that stuff that they don't want to bring with them. And I always tell them, don't pack it unless you got a new spot for it in the new house.
That's the name of your business is fantastic. Find Your Stuff, and you just touched on it right there.
Yeah.
But I think that has a lot to do with it, and you know better than I do, but people get emotionally attached to things, or some people just don't want change, and they get stuck with piles of things in their house, and now fortunately some gets left to their loved ones at the
And that's the hard part, because the kids don't want it. The kids don't want any of this stuff. They don't want China. They don't want the Ethan Allen furniture. It's beautiful. The antique furniture is so ornate and such good quality. But the younger generation wants IKEA. They want to be able to come in, put it together, and then leave it when they move on to the next house, because it's not going to make it to the next house.
But you also have different organizing gadgets too, and for drawers and for hanging on doors and.
I do, yeah. I should have brought some in here. I don't have any in this room. Like for my jewelry, for my earrings, I just use a tea towel and I put it on a skirt hanger, and I hang it from my back of my closet door, and I put all my earrings on there. Even my dresser in my bedroom, I don't have a big closet, but I don't have a lot of clothes because I wear, like the statistics say, you wear 20% of your clothes 80% of the time. Nice way of saying you wear the same clothes over and over and over again. And that's what I do. I don't have a whole lot of clothes, but I needed a TV stand. So I used an old dresser, and in the dresser I have light bulbs are in the first drawer. My mother's silverware is in the second drawer, and then throw rugs are in the next two drawers. So I don't even use it for clothes at all. Yeah. And I have tons, there's tons of any little containers, any little like sock holders you can use in your drawers to divide things up and use that. My one and true love is over the door shoe holders. Things that you put, I don't know, like I said, I don't have any in here, but you can put everything in there. You can,
the little
every room.
Yeah, the little pockets you can.
Little pockets, yeah.
Things in that. Yeah. That's interesting. You did touch upon that when you did your training with our tenants about you use 20% of the clothes that are in your closet and 80% you never use. So I think you had some advice about going through the closet and getting rid of things that way.
Yeah, definitely. The biggest thing is, taking it all out. You really need to take everything out, and then have a couple of bags. One would be like stuff you're going to donate to a charity. The other ones would be maybe you're giving to friends or something like that. And the other one would be just trash. It's ripped. The zippers don't work. It's ugly. It's out of style, whatever. And then when you put the clothes back in, you put the hangers in facing the wrong way. And then as you wear the clothes, now you put them back in with the hanger facing the right way. And then this way, it's really easy to look along the closet rod after like 6 months, and you can see which ones you wore and which one you haven't worn. And that makes it easy, because then it kind of takes out all that emotional, because you're like, oh, I never do wear that white sweater. How come?
Gosh, that makes a lot of sense. Just, using a little trick like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing with closets is even just getting all the same kind of hangers. I know that sounds stupid and that might cost money, but just using all the same hangers makes the closet look better. Mm-hmm. And the clothes hang better too. Mm-hmm. And you use less space than if you have those big wooden clunky ones or the wire ones from the dry cleaners. Oh my God, those got to go. I always tell people usually dry cleaners have like a little box that you can put the hangers in. I always tell everyone, get that box and put it in the bottom of your closet so you can recycle them and get rid of those hangers.
Yeah.
But
that thought you shared before about the new generation doesn't, really care for the Ethan Allen furniture and the Hummel collections and all that stuff. And people just hold on to it and just, it collects dust. You got to clean it all the time. And,
Yeah, exactly. Or it sits in a box in a closet, and then I'm in there cleaning out, and they're like, oh my God, I don't even know what's in there anymore. And that's why. Yeah. So my tagline is, let me help you find the stuff you forgot you had. And literally within 15 to 20 minutes working with somebody, they'll go, oh my God, I forgot I had that.
Yeah.
Because it got buried. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even some of that stuff you can't even sell. Like you really got to know your stuff. You really got to give it to somebody who knows, like, is there a collector of Hummels out there? Like I had somebody who had a bunch of old postcards, and I thought the postcards were cool. Like, I'm like, those got to be worth something. And I got my guy, he's my hauler, but he also does a lot of consignment stuff. And he said, he goes, it was the stamp on one of the postcards, which was more than the postcard itself. Oh. And it was a stamp guy that wanted the postcards, not a postcard people. Yeah. So it's funny how you got to try and find the right niche and the right person that wants to buy your stuff.
Yeah.
If you're going to try and sell it.
This is just it, and a lot of people don't have that kind of time to connect with the right person.
Yeah.
You also have a network. You created and gathered a whole network of people that help you when people have like whole basements to get rid of stuff, or whole, the garage full of the stuff that's they've been storing.
Yep.
So yeah, why don't you talk a little bit about those folks too, because that's a key.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. Part of my services is that I take this, if it's small stuff, I take it out. If it's small stuff that I can donate, I take it out of the house, because I've learned if I leave it in the house,
Yeah.
somebody will go through those bags and will take the stuff back out. Someone in the family will be like, no, you're not getting rid of my Legos. So
You said that in the past, and that's a good practice. Yeah.
yeah, this one I was helping a family move that were moving, and the mother's like, my kid's 23 years old. He doesn't need his Legos anymore. So she threw them all in a black garbage bag, which I always use black garbage bags. And she goes, oh, it's really heavy. We'll let my son pick it up and we'll let him put it in the trash. And he literally picked it up and heard his Legos and said, you can't get rid of these. And the next week I got there and the bag was still there. He didn't even go through it. And I said, okay, now it's going in my car. And I took it. So if it's small, I take it to, I have a couple of different charities. My sister's place down in Ansonia, I love. They're a big, huge thrift store. And all the money that they make from there goes towards battered families, programs for battered families. And the other thing I love about them is, even if somebody has like some stained sheets or their clothes are ripped and they kind of threw them in the bag and I didn't know or whatever, the girls at my sister's place go through it all, and anything they can't sell, they actually resell it in bulk to a company that pays them by the pound, and they could use that, and they use the fabrics, whether jeans or shirts or whatever, for insulation.
Oh, wow.
So they take and reuse it, which is really nice, so that it's not getting in the landfill.
Yeah.
She's a great resource. Even Michelle down at my sister's place. I had a bunch of vases. I'm like, Michelle, you want all these vases? They're kind of like blah, typical, run of the mill kind of vases. And she's like, yeah, because the animal control officer comes in. And I'm like, what does an animal control officer need to do with vases? And she said, she does programs at the senior centers and at the nursing homes of how to make flower arrangements.
Oh,
and
wow.
She needs the vases. So it's like really cool like that. I use St. Vincent de Paul a lot, especially to pick up furniture. Mm-hmm. I just did Napo, Connecticut, just did a coat drive. And so I brought 76 jackets down to St. Vincent de Paul in Waterbury. And then the day before, I was working with a client who had 15 or 18 packages of tube socks, men's athletic tube socks, never opened.
Oh, wow.
18 packs of them, 6 in a pack. Brought those down too, and the girls came out while I was there getting a tour, and she's like, these are going right to the soup kitchen. These are gonna like get snatched up like in an instant. So that was really good to hear. I also use Habitat Restore. Mm-hmm. Wherever my clients are, there's always a restore that is in that area, and they come out right out and pick up big furniture. That's a big furniture thing.
Yeah.
And then finally, when there's nobody else wants it, I can't get rid of it any other avenue at all. That's when I call my haulers, my guys. I got my guys, Bob and Frank, CNR cleanouts that I use all the time. I love junk luggers. They're my second best. Mm-hmm. And there's a new one in Southington. Bear, I forgot his name. Rob, I think it's Junk Bear. So those are the three that I would always recommend. But Bob and Frank, they're always my first guys I call, and they always can. Then they take the stuff out, and if they can try and either resell it or bring it to a charity that they know will take it, then they do that too. But most of the time, their stuff goes right into it.
Yeah.
The landfill, to the transfer station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've used in my day job. I've used junk luggers. They're pretty accurate, and they tell you when they're going to be there. They're there, and pretty quick and empty it out. And,
and they're good, right? They're like super professional.
Yeah. So, but getting rid of the place and disposing of the stuff, that's probably a good part of it. But
And that's the hardest, because that's what people don't want to get rid of. That's the stuff like, oh, I really don't want to get rid of all this stuff. But once they see how much they have, they're like, okay, it can go.
Yeah. So, I mean, typical conversations with people, you go in and you meet somebody, you give them the expectation of what to expect from you. In other words, it's gonna be no holds barred. You're going in, you're gonna get this done.
Yeah. I give you an example of the client I'm working with that I worked with today. We walked in and there's a lot of stuff in the house, and we started off with her bedroom, and you walk in and there was a pile of books, and I said, we walked around the house first and we said, okay, yeah, what stresses you out? Which room stresses you out the most? She said, my bedroom. I really need to get in there. Her husband had just passed away. She's like, I really need to be able to get into the bedroom again. And I said, okay, so we go in the bedroom, and you two piles of books on either side of the doorway. And I'm like, okay, let's start there. She's like, what? I'm like, right there, right at the front of the door. Let's go. And then we went right to her nightstand, and she had 3 drawers, and she's like, we're really going to go through the nightstand? Like, we're going to go through every drawer? I'm like, yeah, you need to get rid of stuff. Like, the drawers are overflowing. You can't close the drawers because there's too much stuff. We need to pull everything out. And we got probably a tote bag, half of a tote bag full of just pens. Like, that she just, well, I never can find pens, so I keep on bringing them in here.
Yeah.
Today we did all her jewelry. Like, she's like, I just thought we were gonna do my dresser. I thought we were just gonna clear it off and dust it and put everything back to where it was. I'm like, no, you have all these containers of stuff that she said I don't know what to do with. And I'm like, I went through it and I'm like, well, these are pins that can go in one jewelry box. Here's all earrings. These can go in another jewelry box. And we cleared it all off in just a couple hours. And she's like, wow. So I do. And then we were looking around. She's like, I need to get rid of these extra dressers in the room. I'm like, no, we need those dressers, because once we clear them out, we're going to use them for like all your fabric and like, again, repurpose them for something else. Like, she doesn't have any more clothes, so we'll use them for all her fabrics and all her craft stuff and all her toiletries extra that she likes to buy.
I think that's part of it too, that, like you said, you can't find it. So you're out in the store and I need that. I don't know where it is. You buy another one.
Buy one.
You know?
Yes. Yeah.
Like the store
Yes.
with pens, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Or like this one was like, I can never find reading eyeglasses. So I'm not kidding, she probably had about 50 pairs.
Wow.
In three of those nightstand drawers. And once we got them all together,
Yeah.
you could see she had this big chunk of half a drawer full of just reading glasses.
Yeah.
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 But,
imagine if once it's organized, it helps stop that kind of spending.
yeah, I'll see. I've only worked with her twice.
Yeah.
Because we cleared off the dresser, and I'm like, well, now we can clear off that other dresser. And she's like, oh, good, then I can get another clock. And she already had 4 clocks.
Yeah.
Sitting on her dresser. And I'm like, no more clocks. You already got 4 here, plus the one on the wall, plus the one underneath that doesn't work. I'm like, no more clocks. So, yeah. And she said after the first session, she goes, oh my God, I can't believe it, Jan. She said, I was starting to clean up a little bit. She goes, and I can hear you in my head. I can hear you telling me, get rid of it, or do you need it? Because I usually don't say get rid of stuff, because that's not giving them the chance to talk to me about it and tell me why they have to keep it. So usually I go, do you need this? Well, what about this? I'll say. And then they kind of give me the dissertation of why they need to keep those 50 pairs of glasses or those 5 clocks. But it helps them make that process. And so she said, oh my God, I can't believe it. I was thinking of you as I was cleaning up the pile in the corner the other day. So
yeah,
that's what I like to hear.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. And I'll bet you she feels better after she got that bedroom cleaned up.
She does. Yeah. We're not done yet, but
yeah.
Got 2 more dressers to go.
Well, I'm sure you'll get there.
Yeah, we will. Well, it will. Yeah.
So, you mentioned on your website that you help people that are maybe going into a new home or downsizing. You help them get organized to get there. Is it a similar process where you question them as to what you really need, or?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And now I have a floor plan program that I throw on my laptop. And so what I can do is I can go to their new home take the measure, or they're like, if they're going into a senior living kind of complex, I can go there, get all the measurements of their room, and then get the measurements of the furniture that they want to bring with them. And then we can plug it into the program. So we're not like cutting out, graph paper and putting in a couch in a bed and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they could really see what can fit in that room. So that helps with the big furniture stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, that's heaven sent. And what I've done, and actually the movers were like, wow, I never saw anybody do this. I print out like each room when they move in that day, and I tape it to the wall. So when the movers come in, they know exactly where to put the furniture. They know what wall it's on. Yeah. But again, it's just asking them like, okay, you're getting older. Do you travel as much? Okay, maybe you only need 3 pieces of luggage instead of 10, and your closet isn't that big. You're not going to be able to fit
But
10
the
pieces of
Samsonite,
luggage.
you don't want to get rid of the Samsonites.
Exactly. Exactly. How much those cost? I'm like, I know. What I do a lot is I'll try and like working with a client right now that's moving in. She has this big old corner curio cabinet, and I've been trying, and her kids have been trying for her not to take it, but she's dead set on taking it, and it fits in the room, so we kind of got to let her take it. But she doesn't have a lot of kitchen space, and she's taking a lot of these bowls that she really doesn't need, but are pretty. And then she would kind of use them like if she had a party, like for the tableware and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is repurpose, and I'm going to use those bowls as display on that curio cabinet, so she can still keep them. They'll still be out. She'll still be able to see them. So it's almost better than sitting in a cabinet in her kitchen.
Yeah.
So I try and help them do that, and then kind of figure out, do they need 2 rods in their closets, because the closets are smaller, but they want to bring 3/4 of their clothes. So I work that out for them too. Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah. And then again, work with the Habitat Restore or my haulers to get rid of the stuff, or try and sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace for them. If it's little, like I sold this one client tires. She had 4 tires in the garage, so I was able to sell the tires for her.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. No, that's helpful too. That Facebook Market.
Yeah. Marketplace is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so my wheels were turning when I read that about you getting people to ready to move into a new place. My wheels were turning as a realtor that there may be sellers out there who really want to sell their house, but their house is overstuffed with things and they don't know where to start. So that's keeping them from, and especially in today's market, because house prices are up.
Yeah.
I think the average in Connecticut, they're up $57,000.
Wow.
And the interest rates they're going up a little bit, but it's very much a seller's market right now. And people may be losing opportunities because they're frozen. They're stuck because they don't know what to do with all their stuff. So that's where my wheels were turning on that. And I'm sure you have, contacts and your systems and how you can help those folks as well.
Yeah, exactly. Especially to get rid of those spare rooms that have those boxes where everything just kind of got thrown in there, right? And so the rooms don't show off nicely.
Yeah.
Because they look like a big storage room. So yeah, we can go. I go into those with my clients, and we literally open up every box and we figure out what we're keeping and what they're going to keep. What do they really want? If it's memorabilia, then sometimes we put it in a nice, like, I'm big into clear totes, so then you can see through it. Even if you just put it into clear totes and then you stack it up neatly in a closet, or down the basement, it looks a lot better than a bunch of boxes in the middle of a room. So yeah, I love helping them. Or even like the drawers, like or closets, like a pantry closet, like a pantry or a hall closet or a linen closet. If you just, like in a linen closet, if they just went through and got rid of all the extra blankets that they don't want anymore, or all the extra sheet sets that they don't need anymore, that makes it look like there's and you fold everything nice and neat. And I don't know how many times I have had to teach my clients how to fold fitted sheets. No one knows how to fold fitted sheets. But if you fold them up nice and you put the sheets and the pillowcases all in one, then the closet will look so much nicer and so much bigger than if it's chock full of stuff. We open it up and things are falling down on you.
Yeah.
Same thing with even with the gadget drawer in the kitchen. You know, if you kind of just pull out, you know, keep one spatula instead of 10.
Yeah.
It just gives you much more room. And the new owners, or the new, you know, people coming in to see the house are gonna be like, wow, prospective owners are gonna be like, wow, there's a lot of room in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some folks, when you're taking them around, some clients have vision. They can look past that stuff, but a lot of clients don't. They you know, they can't picture that. And of course, when you're staging a house, you're always saying, well, take all the personal stuff out of it so that they can picture their stuff in there, you know.
Right.
But yeah, there may be people out there, like I said, that want to sell, but their house isn't ready.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And I can help them, like, just at least put stuff away so that, you know, if there's a showing, they could put it quick into a clear tote and
Yeah.
put it in a cabinet or something, or put it in the closet neatly. And then when they need to pull it out, you know,
Yeah.
after the showing is over, they can pull it back out and they can use their table the way they were using it, or whatever. But for the few minutes that they need to have it look good.
Yeah.
And like I know you guys always say depersonalize. So, you know, I can ask them, like, okay, what do you want to do with all these family pictures? Like, are you really going to take all of these to your new house, or do you need them in those frames even? Like, maybe the frames are dated. You still want the picture. Well, I'm happy to sit there and take those pictures out, undo those frames and take the pictures out, and then donate the frames, because
Mhm.
you know, and it's just time that I think people get so overwhelmed, and they're like, I don't have the time to do that. I just need to sell the house.
You said something in one of your presentations at the chamber. You know, when they're overwhelmed and they got a whole room of stuff, you said, like, you pretend you have a searchlight
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
shut it right down. And I'll never forget that, because
Really? Oh,
helpful. And I got a challenge in my garage, so you know, it's helpful with that. You know, this corner, and then you walk away from it, and you feel good that you
yeah,
cleared that corner. You know, and yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Yep. So you can either, I say, to take a flashlight, or figuratively or real life, take a flashlight, spread it down, and whatever light it reaches is what you got to do. And then, or set a timer for 20 minutes.
Mhm.
You know, and everyone has timers on their phones now. Set a timer for 20 minutes, do something, you know, walk into a room, take the first things on the right, go through it and see how far you go. And you're like, wow, I got a lot done. That didn't take long.
Yeah.
That's what, like, some people will say, oh my God, I hate doing dishes. And so dishes are all over the kitchen counter, or there's laundry like galore all over the floor. And they're like, it takes too long. I said, time yourself. When you put in a load of laundry, really time yourself. When did you put it in? You know, when did you turn that knob to turn it on? What did that take? 2 minutes?
Mhm.
And then, like, to fold it, okay, what did that take? 7 minutes? And then if people time themselves like that, they go, no, it's not that bad. Like,
Yeah.
I had a client who said she had physical disabilities, and she's like, I can't do dishes. And her boyfriend's like, yeah, she can do dishes. She just doesn't want to. And I said, let's time. She was like, I can't stand up long enough to do the dishes. And I said, let's time it. How long does it take you to get the dishes into the dishwasher? And it literally was 3 minutes. I'm like, I think you can stand for 3 minutes. She goes, yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
But, you know, to her, she was going to be standing up for 15.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
A lot
yeah.
of it is over matter, then, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 So not only you have systems, but you have that psychological thing that you help them with, get past their barriers. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. That's pretty
Try
cool.
to
So what's
just give
your
them different ways of thinking of things. Like, yeah.
so what's your big secret with mail? People get piles of mail every day. Myself, I hide the mailbox. That'd be my solution. Take it right off
Number one is when you take out the mailbox, go right to the recycle bin and throw the junk mail right in the recycle bin right then and there. Don't even bring it into the kitchen.
Yeah.
Don't even bring it in. Just get rid of it right there. And then I say deal with your mail every week. Maybe if you have if people are still getting, paper bills, like I still do, because I screw up if I don't, to be totally honest. I have a little basket and I put at least all my bills are in there. And then you might have like a little file, like a little to be filed kind of folder or a basket maybe next to where your keys go and where your phone goes and stuff like that. And then you just go through like, so stuff that has to be, you have to address later on, or you do want to read it or something like that. Then you kind of keep it in that basket, but you get a thin basket. So you don't get a thick one because then it's just going to get filled up with stuff. So if you get a little thin basket, it'll keep you to go through it.
Yeah.
I also say have a shredder or the recycle bin right underneath you too. Like if you have a recycle bin in the house,
Yep.
Have that right there, or definitely a shredder right there so you can shred. But at least I know when I do presentations, I always ask how many people do it every day, and maybe like just a handful of people say that. And I go, how many people do it every week? And then that's where I get most of my people. I'm like, every week?
Yeah.
We only do it once a week. I'm like, oh my God, I can't do that.
Well, it makes more sense than just looking at the piles accumulating and,
Yeah.
and falling over eventually.
Exactly. And then when it gets to that point, that's when I say, take it and flip it over.
Yeah.
And then all this stuff on the top is really old. So it's really easy to get rid of. It's probably stuff from Christmas or New Year's or, I don't know, or parties or invites that have already passed. So then it's really easy to get through and throw out, and then you don't feel bad. And then the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You had a story, I think you found something in somebody's house that had money in it or something, or gift certificates in it.
Yeah, I find gift certificates all the time. I had one guy, he had mail, and he had all his mail on the table. And he's like, Jan, just throw it out. It's all junk mail. And I said, nope. As an organizer, we open up everything, even if it looks like junk. And we found $3,000 worth of checks.
Wow.
Yeah, some from his insurance company. His wife was a doctor, so she was getting some checks in. We found $3,000. One of my other clients, she moved. I don't know if this is the one you're thinking of, Dave. She moved to Chicago, and she said, "Here, clean out my house for me. Just have a tag sale, get rid of stuff." So I had my boyfriend Bill, his sister, and his nephew helping us, and he found these little red envelopes, and she was Korean, and so for the New Year they would put $20 bills in these little red envelopes, and a whole stack of them had fallen behind an old fish tank stand. And so when Bill was cleaning that out, he was starting to throw the envelopes away, and then after like just a few, he felt something in them, and then he stopped and he opened up all of them, and there was $20 bills and like a bunch of them.
Wow. Yeah. Fabulous.
Yeah.
So
yeah, even at her house too. Her daughter was 5 years old when she moved, and I found 2 cards for when her daughter was born. And one card had a $200 check in it, and another card had a $300 check in it.
Yeah.
So she had $500 sitting there.
Yeah, I think that
for
was
5 years. She didn't even know about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that brings it right back around to the name of your business. Find your stuff.
Find your stuff. Yeah. We always find like gift cards. Always find gift cards.
Yeah.
And some they throw them in the junk drawer, and then they don't. Then it gets pushed into the back. So now I'm always like, nope. Let's get a little basket or a little. But people always get like lanyards and stuff when they go to a conference or something. I'm like, let's use those, and we'll put all your gift cards in there, and then you can see them.
Yeah.
Keep them all together. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. So, if people needed to get a hold of you, they could find you online.
Yeah.
At what's your website?
Findyourstuffct.com.
Okay.
And then I'm on Facebook and Instagram under Find Your Stuff. And then email is findyourstuffnow@gmail.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'll put up at the end of this recording, I'll put up your business card or something from your website. So
okay. Yep. I gotta get that to you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. But, yeah, no, it's I've been intrigued since I met you at the chamber, Waterbury Chamber. So yeah, you're in the Waterbury Chamber as well. I think if they go to the Waterbury Chamber, that's how I reconnected with your contact information.
Okay,
Waterbury Chamber, and they have a link that links to your website.
okay.
You're also in some organizations, Center Sphere.
I'm in Center Sphere. Yep, it's a networking group. I'm in the Middlebury chapter, and then I'm in National Association of Productivity and Professional Organizers, NAPO. I'm in their national association and in the Connecticut chapter.
Nice.
So Connecticut chapter's out of Hamden.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Then, yeah.
Well, you're doing a great job, and I think it's a very needed service that you're bringing.
And I love it. It's so much fun. Like my clients go, aren't you tired? I'm like, no, I'm energized. I'm like, that's when I know I'm in the right job, because I just get energized by doing it. I was with a client last night till 9 o'clock at night and didn't mind at all. It was fun.
Imagine that for each one, you feel very accomplished. And I'm sure that your clients feel very happy with, the results.
Yep. Yeah. And actually, the client last night is somebody who they just moved into their house. They upsized. They upsized. They took a lot of stuff that they probably shouldn't have brought, but thank God they have a lot of cabinets and a lot of closets.
Yeah.
So I'm just helping them. He's like, we heard about you, and we just want to have our house organized from the get-go. So, like all the stuff that we did bring, we just want to find a good place to store it all into where we can find it when we need it. Like the stuff that when we have parties, we want to have all our party stuff together, So yeah, and they had a big pile in their garage of stuff that got dumped off by the movers, and we started there. Yeah, and so half the stuff went all the way down to the basement, other stuff went all the way upstairs to a spare bedroom. Yeah. So
I've in my experience, I've been doing the real estate for nearly 16 years now, and I find that folks that have been in the military are very organized.
Oh yeah.
Stuff, like we'll be closing on this house March 1st. Hopefully, everything goes okay. But this guy was in the military, and he's even got switches on the house labeled. For what's the outside, what's the inside, what's the right side, left side. But everything, and he's got all the pamphlets. That's one thing too that you can get out of hand with when you buy an appliance. Where do you put all the
manuals, right?
But he had all that, and he was able to share all that with the new buyers, and
perfect,
wonderful. It's like, wow, only to be that organized,
Yeah. Yep, definitely. I love the military guys because they've moved so many times.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're minimalists too.
Yeah.
They're usually minimalists because they don't want to be moving again and all their stuff. Yeah,
that's true from base to base and whatnot.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I tell all my clients when they have their manuals. I'm like, let's get all the manuals, especially if they're moving. I'm like, as we go through stuff, we find manuals. Like, let's get a little basket. Let's put them all in there for the new owners, and then we put a sign on it saying, "Do not," like a post-it that says, "Do not pack," so it stays there at the house. Yeah.
Nice.
So it doesn't go.
Sure, you come across a few that. Do you have this appliance anymore?
Yes. So that pile that was this thick goes down there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
So,
yeah.
Well, it's certainly enlightening. I'm sure that the folks that see this are gonna, thinking about your services and thinking about a lot of things that you said, and I think it's very helpful. Like I said, I've been a fan of yours since I met you in the chamber. So
thank you. I really appreciate this opportunity. This is great because I love talking about it. I love because people don't know that we even exist. Like they don't even know. Like the woman that I'm working with today, her husband died like 3 weeks ago or something, and she's a friend of a friend, so that's why I got called in so quickly. Like called in a week after her husband had passed. And I'm a widower too, so I think that helped. Like that kind of she felt even more connected with me and stuff like that. So which was nice, but she put up on Facebook that she was on this cluttered widower Facebook page, and people are like, wow, how'd you find her? What?
Yeah,
We need someone like that. So this
Yeah.
is, I'm so appreciative of this opportunity, Dave. This is
Yeah.
great. You've been, yeah, I know you've been a great champion for me. You always have me come to Coca and do presentations, and
yeah,
when your residents called me in.
yeah,
So I really appreciate it.
yeah.
I
I can
know.
have you back soon. We've had
There's some new residents. I need a little.
yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah. And
okay.
I do, I do presentations for you, and I start up a new one about downsizing, presentation about downsizing, and really giving people a timeline
Uh-huh.
on, really how long it, and when I really worked it out for the presentation, like I really want to show how long it takes for you to get in to go through your stuff, to get your charities to come out, to do a live auction if you wanted to do an estate sale or a live auction sale for your stuff. It was like a 6-month process. Like if you really, really wanted to do it the right way and not that rush
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
last 2 months before you're like, oh my God, the house sold, I got to move. So I do those kind of presentations too.
yeah,
That's the new added feature of my business.
yeah, yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Some people put their house on the market and don't have a realistic expectation of when they really got to get their stuff out. You know.
And what's the turnaround point now with you guys? How quickly can they close and
Oh
move?
goodness. We've seen things happen in 30 days.
Oh man, I can't believe it. Oh my God.
Need to get that or
No, I just want to turn it off. I'm sorry.
okay.
Oh my God.
Oh, no problem. But yeah, I'm working with a client right now, and I've had Hubbards before, but it's kind of tricky when you're selling the house that they're living in, and they're buying a new house, and they generally close on the same day. So kind of scratching our heads. Well, will I have a few days to get my stuff out? No, when you close, that's it. It's not your house anymore. You're turning over the keys, and somebody has the right to move right in. So I said, you got to back the whole process up a little bit.
Right.
Start calling your movers now, so you actually have a date, a target date anyway,
Right.
and get it lined up. So it's good because they're closing on the 1st of March, and their movers are coming in on the 28th and packing everything up.
Oh,
So
perfect.
in the morning when they're at their first closing, the movers are going to be putting stuff in their truck and ready to go, so that when they close in the afternoon, they'll be able to roll over to the new house and just put the stuff in.
Oh,
But
perfect. Yeah.
but
And you brought up a good point about the movers, because you get the summertime or certain peak times, and then you can't get a mover.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's tough.
So we try to surround ourselves by good qualified folks like yourself, that we can call up and say, hey, these folks need a little help, or we'll have a list of movers, we'll have some home improvement people, because sometimes people put their house on the market, it needs a little help. But not everybody goes around with a handyman's tool and fixes everything all the time, but it's got to be put in shape for the buyers, otherwise it might give them a leg over another house that they would go to.
Exactly.
But it's been pretty amazing. Closings used to take 60 to 75 days, and now they're getting done pretty quick.
Wow.
Their house, they came to me at first and they said, well, when do we put our house on the market? They're all gangbusters because they want to sell their house to get into a new house.
Okay.
I said, well, no, first we got to find you a house to move into and get an accepted contract, because I don't want you to be homeless, because I knew their house was going to sell fast, and it did. We put it on the market on a Friday, and Saturday we had a first offer, and by Monday we had 4 more offers. So
that's crazy. I know.
We were under contract in 6 days. So
wow, that's amazing. That is.
So
there's no end in sight for that, right? I mean, it's kind of going to keep on going for a while, right? I mean,
for a while, yeah. There's a lot of different reasons for it. Millennials are coming into the market. They're at an age, and they have some pockets that they've saved money, and if they're not paying student loans.
Right.
But
They've been living at home with mom and dad, so.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Then there's what was the other? Oh, I learned tonight there's people that are buying second homes and they're Airbnb them out. So that's keeping houses on limit. So what's causing this is a housing market, a shortage of houses that are available to sell, and
Right.
there's more buyers than there are sellers. So
Yeah,
I don't know
that's what I hear all the time.
The pandemic helped too. Yes, there were a lot of people from New York. It wasn't all of it, but there were a lot of people from New York. Some of them coming in paying cash.
And you think it was because people were home too, and they kind of like saw their houses, and they're like, you know what, we need more room, or we need to downsize. We don't need this much room. You think that
Right.
kind of
Yeah,
was somewhat of a.
some of that going on. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
some folks are. Well, the other thing was the rental market raised up quite a bit too. Some of the 3 bedrooms are close to $2,000 a month. And if you're going to spend that much on a rent, you can buy a house. So people are figuring that out.
Right. Yeah.
But that's what I thought of you to do this, because, like I said, some folks may be stuck because they need to get rid of a lot of stuff.
Right. Yeah. And I got the resources, and I love doing it. So I have no problems walking into a room that's full of boxes. That's like fun to me. That's like Christmas in whatever month we're in.
Yeah.
And just going through it and finding the stuff. It's like, wow, like, didn't know I had that anymore. Or look what we found, this old memorabilia stuff. So.
Or I've been looking for that forever.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, that's where that went. Yeah.
So,
No, yeah. No, and like I said, I love working with the guys that are downsizing, the guys that are moving into the new places, people that are, needing to clear out their houses, so that, and the other thing too is the financial part of it is all that stuff costs money to move it. Whether you're using your own U-Haul or you're having a mover move it, it's going to cost money to put that in a truck and move it. So the less you can move.
yeah.
That's what I'm using with one of my clients right now who doesn't want to get rid of a lot of stuff. I'm like, you're going to pay to move that down the road, and then it's probably not going to fit, and I'm going to be taking it away anyway. So let me take it now. Yeah. Do you really want to pay to move all those clothes or all those baskets of pillows? Like,
right.
We know they're not going to fit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So little things like that. Yeah.
Well, this
things that they don't know about, that they don't realize that it's going to cost that much money, or they don't, they don't understand the concept of a move is going to cost money, or like paper. I'm like, get rid of your paper now because it's so heavy.
Yeah.
It's going to cost so much money to move.
Yeah.
Get rid of it now before you go. Yeah.
That's one of the movers told us, people kind of tend to put the big heavy things, the books, all in a big box.
Oh,
you're moving, they say put it in a smaller one because then you can lift it easier.
Exactly. Yep. Yep. That's it. I know. I always tell my clients that too. I'm like, if you're going to pack up, I understand you want to pack up some of this stuff yourself, but don't put it in big heavy boxes, because then the movers are going to be mad at you because they can't move it, and I'm not going to be able to move it. So definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Use the big boxes for all the little light stuff that's got to be wrapped up in tons of bubble wrap. It doesn't. Doesn't. Yeah. And then there's another little thing, like all that packaging material, like all that paper and stuff that they use. I can take it because my sister's place, where I donate stuff to, they love that packing paper, because when they have sales, especially like their silverware or their dishware sales, they need it to pack it for the new person who's buying it. So a lot of people are like, oh my God, I got to pay for all this packing material to get thrown out. And I'm like, no, I could take most of it home with me and donate it again. So constantly recycling, stuff.
Yeah, nice.
Not going to the landfill.
Yeah.
Like little things.
Yeah, I've always been amazed though at your resources, because without that, it's hard to get rid of things and hard to,
Yeah.
People get
And
stuck.
I think that was my biggest fear when I started the job. I'm like, oh my God, how am I gonna get rid of all this stuff? You know, I knew about savers and the vets and,
Yeah, the vet.
and I learned about my sister's place and they're so wonderful. And then like my hauler guys, like I would just use junk leggers, and then my hauler guys, I needed somebody to move. I had a client who had a dumpster out in her yard and she just needed a couch and a love seat and some bookcases moved, and I couldn't do that on my own. Put on Facebook, met these guys, and they said, yeah, we can do it. They came out, I met them, and we've been great partners now for
Yeah.
a couple of years now. Yeah, there's just a weird, I 3 other guys said they would help me, and no, the other 2 never even called back when I asked for a price.
Mhm.
And these 2 came back, and funny how we have a town flat connection, town flat Waterbury connection. And I went to school with one of their brothers and the other one's brother-in-law for 12 years of school. So it was like, okay, now I always have to use you guys.
Speaking of that, I don't know where I ran across it, but I found out that you are a Holy Cross alumni.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I am as well.
yeah.
Uh,
Catholic High.
Yeah,
Catholic, yeah. Wow, I didn't know you're a Holy Crosser.
yeah, yeah. That's funny because my mother-in-law came to visit from Uganda, and my wife wanted me to take her around, show her where I went to school and all this. And after I drove all around, well, I went to Russell School, Blessed Sacrament, Holy Cross. I went to Naugatuck Valley Community College and Post College, and I've
Oh my
always
God.
lived around there. So I haven't moved from this area in 62 years. So it's like, okay, I need to get out more.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I live right across the street from Holy Cross High School now.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I did leave to go to Boston for school. I did go to Boston for college. But yeah, I know.
Small
There's something
world.
to be said about town plotters.
Yeah,
It is a small world.
yeah,
Definitely is.
yeah,
It's amazing.
yeah. Well, this was fantastic. I appreciate, you getting together on this and sitting
Yeah.
for this interview. And like I said,
You made this so easy, Dave. Oh my God.
well, I think you've got a fantastic product and service for people. And, I want to make sure people hear about it. So,
Thank you. I appreciate it.
yeah,
And Vic, it's nice seeing you. I don't know.
absolutely. Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
all right. I
Well,
think
thanks,
that's it.
Dave.